Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Digital Art. This is Mr. Sosa talking you through another lesson. Today, we are going to be talking about wanted posters. Um, that's our next project. You're going to be digitally creating a wanted poster from scratch, which should be a lot of fun. So, I want you guys to be thinking about what sort of character you would want wanted, whether that be a villain from a movie, a villain from a TV show, maybe it's your best friend. Maybe it's your pet hamster, your pet dog. Maybe it's your mom or dad for making you go to bed early or not giving you sweets. Or maybe it's one of your favorite teachers. Whatever it may be, it could literally be anyone. It could be anything. It could be a robot. It could be a real character. It could be a fictional character. So it doesn't just have to be a villain like most of these we're going to see here. But what you're going to find is that wanted posters all have a very similar look. They all look very worn and torn. Okay. They all have a rugged, sort of old Western look to them. They're all typically orange or yellow. Not to say your final wanted poster has to adhere to those qualities exactly, but typically that's what they're going to look like. Wanted posters were created in the Old West um, to warn residents and local people about people that the police officers or the police officers found dangerous, like bandits or thieves, stuff like that, outlaws, etc. Okay, so if we start looking at these examples, I'm going to go ahead and full screen this. If we start looking at these examples, you'll see first and foremost with all these examples is that wanted, the word wanted, is very large. It's typically at the top, okay? It's sort of front and center, not really center, but it's front, I should say. And dead or alive is typically at the bottom. Now this is really cool because you have this graphic of this graphic of this bandito or whatever he is. It says armed and very dangerous, $10,000 cash reward. Okay, there's a $10,000 cash reward. Now your reward can be anything. It can be in pesos. It can be in yen. If you want your wanted poster to be in Spanish, you could do pesos. That would be cool. I have students ask me a lot if they can do their posters in another language. Yes, you can do that if you understand the language or if you use Google Translate. Google Translate is a really good tool. Um, so this has a very creamy, sort of light look to it. It's very yellow, or I should say like a light tan more than yellow. And you'll notice that there is a cool graphic right below dead or alive. You have this star or this sort of badge graphic with these two lines. So you might want to be thinking about those as well. Armed and very dangerous is sort of framed by these two lines right here. And once again, the cash amount is very large. $10,000 cash reward. That's sort of one of the largest pieces, second to wanted, because you want to get people's attention. $10,000, that sticks out quite a bit. It really grabs people's attention. So let's go ahead and look at another example. This is from the American movie classic Back to the Future. If you don't know Back to the Future, you should either get your head checked or you should be grounded. That's just my personal opinion. It's a great movie. If you haven't seen it, ask your parents to show it to you. It is a classic. There is a character named Buford Tannen, who terrorizes the protagonist, Marty McFly, throughout the trilogy. So up here, you have reward $5,000 in gold coin. You have these cool little hands pointing left and right. I'm going to show you in our next video how you can find those hands. You can find one pointing to the right and then mirror it, copy and mirror it, and have it point to the left. Basically, all you do is search Google for old-timey hands. I've done it before, and you'll find something like that. What I like about this image is that it's on wood. There's a wood plank, and then there's the parchment or the paper sort of tacked or maybe pasted to the wood. It says $5,000 in gold coin will be paid for the apprehension of photo Buford Tannen. So this photo fades a little bit towards the edges. Typically, your images will just be squares. Okay, your images will just be squares. So that would work pretty well. Wanted for murder, robbery of the Pine City stage, and other acts against the peace and dignity of the U.S. by order of James Strickland, Chief Marshal, Hill Valley. So, one of the other things I wanted you guys to notice is that their fonts are typically old and Western. Okay, you have access to dozens and dozens of fonts within Photoshop. There are going to be several fonts that will resemble an old Western look that I will show you along the way in our next video, which is a demonstration of how to build the actual um, design, the actual poster. But there are things that are required based on the criteria that you will need to put. You will need to put wanted. You will need to put the name of the person wanted, the reason, and if I'm not mistaken, the prize money rewarded for their capture. Now, you don't have to remember all those by heart because they will be written down on a graphic that I will be sending you guys through Canvas. But once again, I want you to notice that this is very kind of yellowy and more orange and brownish, brown being the more dominant color. The image is desaturated, which I'm going to show you a very cool way to desaturate your images to make it look a little more realistic. There's blood splatter, which is cool. You can find blood splatter online and blend it and mix it if that's something more advanced you want to do. It's not required. There are several things you can do that aren't required that will bring your poster off the page just a little more. By that, I mean you're going to give it a little bit more life and just a little bit more flair and personality. Here you have ripped paper where it's ripped towards the edge. You also have the blood splatter, and you have these cool hands, which we talked about just a moment ago. These cool pointy hands, and these two lines down here um, that underlined some of that text. Okay, let's go ahead and move on. Undesirable number one, Harry Potter. Okay, um, you'll notice these all look very similar. I'm going to go through these very quickly and just show you how similar they look in their style. Undesirable number one, Harry Potter, contact the Ministry of Magic immediately if you have any information concerning his whereabouts. Failing to report will result in imprisonment. Okay, so that's serious stuff. Once again, you have these pointy hands down here. Once this disappears, you'll see you have these pointy hands pointing to the reward. 10,000 galleons on his head. So that's quite a hefty reward. And then you have the Ministry of Magic logo down here on the bottom left. Now, the paper is scratched. It's imperfect. It's torn. That's what you want. We're not looking for a crystal clear piece of media. You want your paper to look old. You want it to look torn, as if it's been hanging on a courthouse for months and months. It's going to get tackled by the rain, by the wind, by the dust and dirt. Okay, so it's going to yellow. Even if it wasn't printed on yellow, it's going to yellow eventually, and that's why all these wanted posters look this way. Okay, so Harry Potter's image himself is black and white. You can keep yours in color if you'd like. That's totally up to you. It's not a requirement to put it in black and white. But if you want to, I'm going to show you how to do that. Okay. If we go back, we're going to see that most of these are in black and white. But you're going to see some student examples in the next few videos that will show images that aren't always necessarily in black and white. I wanted to show you an image from Shutterstock because you're going to be looking for old paper. That's going to be your foundation layer. Remember that everything in Photoshop is built on layers, okay? So your foundation layer is going to be an old piece of paper. But here's an example of a piece of paper that would work if not for graphics overlying the image, graphics that we in the industry call watermarks. You'll see that it says Shutterstock all throughout here, Shutterstock here, Shutterstock here, Shutterstock here, etc. And you have these little these little icon logos pinned throughout the image. Now, this is a good time to talk about watermarked images because if you find a watermark image, you want to stay clear of that. The reason watermarks exist is, let's say this company Shutterstock owns the right to this image. They won't take those watermarks off until you purchase the image. Images from Shutterstock and other stock photo websites range from 99 cents, maybe even 50 cents, to a few dollars, all the way up to a few $100, depending on the photo. I'm a professional photographer myself, and when I shoot photos and I send proofs or test images over to clients, I put watermarks on my images until they purchase the images, and then I remove those watermarks and send them the high definition images. So if you see a watermarked image, you want to steer clear. I can't stress that enough. There are several other images without watermarks. A watermarked image will ruin your poster instantly. It's like spilling grape juice on your term paper. You don't want to do that, okay? So what you're going to do is keep searching until you find a piece of parchment or a piece of paper that is clean, that doesn't have any watermarks. They are out there. They can be a little tricky to find. You might have to do some searching, but all you've got to do in Google is search for old paper. Set your tools size large. Okay, click on tools, then size and large. And you're going to find that some of them are really pixelated because we've worked on this project before, so I know from experience. Student experience, some of them are pixelated, some of them have watermarks. If you have a problem looking for an image that's not watermarked, email me and I will personally send you a blank piece of parchment that looks clean so you can use. I'd like you guys to search on your own, but if you just can't get there and you need a little help, please email me. I'll find one for you, and I'll send it straight to you that do not have any restrictions on it, okay? So like I said, stay away from watermarked images. That's not just in this project, but in projects to come. I hope you guys enjoy this project. In the next video, I'm going to be showing you how to build the wanted poster based on the instructions that I gave you. And then what I'm going to do is give you a third presentation of student work. I want you guys to see some student work so you can see what you as students are capable of. Okay, we've had some terrific student work in the past. Wanted posters that want Vader, Darth Vader, they want Thanos, they want the pet dog, they want the pet hamster for getting everything dirty, all kinds of stuff. So be thinking creatively, be thinking of what you want, and we can go from there. I hope these examples helped you. Just real quick, we're going to run through them again. You have our Bandito, you have Buford Tannen, and you have Harry Potter. Okay, so these are all great examples. There are several other examples out there if you want to go look. But these are just a few examples I wanted to show you to hopefully get those creative juices flowing. So that's it for now. Once again, this is Mr. Sosa signing off. I hope you enjoyed this presentation. Be waiting and ready for the next presentation, which will once again show you guys how to build this poster. Hope you guys enjoyed. Have a great day. Bye-bye.